हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू माय चैनल। दिस इज सीए राखी अग्रवाल। आज का हमारा टॉपिक है इंडियन अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड 110, दैट इज कंसोलिडेशन ऑफ अकाउंट पार्ट 5। टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस अबाउट द कंसेप्ट ऑफ गुडविल एज पर इंड एस 36 एंड एज पर इंड एस 110। तो इंड एस 110 क्या बोलता है? कंसोलिडेटेड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट डील्स विद अकाउंटिंग फॉर इन्वेस्टमेंट इन सब्सिडी व्हेन अ कंपनी एक्वायर अनदर कंपनी, देन एट दैट टाइम गुडविल अराइजेस इफ परचेज प्राइस exceed fair value of net identifiable asset acquired at the time of consolidation, at the time of acquisition of subsidiary. Goodwill is not amortized under Ind AS. Ind AS में goodwill का amortization नहीं होता है, but it must be treated annually for impairment under Ind AS 36, that is impairment of asset. Now what is goodwill impairment? Goodwill impairment है क्या? Impairment occur when the carrying amount of goodwill जो बैलेंस शीट में रिफ्लेक्ट करता है exceed its recoverable amount. Carrying amount means the value of goodwill on the balance sheet. जो बैलेंस शीट में जो गुडविल पड़ा हुआ है, रिकवरेबल अमाउंट हायर ऑफ फेयर वैल्यू लेस कॉस्ट ऑफ डिस्पोजल और वैल्यू इन यूज। वैल्यू इन यूज मीन्स प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ एक्सपेक्टेड फ्यूचर कैश। वैल्यू इन यूज मतलब प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ एक्सपेक्टेड फ्यूचर कैश फ्लो। जो हम लोग एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं फ्यूचर में कैश फ्लो जनरेट होने का, उसका अगर आप पुल करके लाओगे आज की डेट में IIR रेट से पुल करके लाओगे, वो मैंने पूरा डिटेल में वीडियो बनाया है इसका। इंड AS 36 है, यू कैन गो and check it out there. If the carrying amount is greater than recoverable amount, then impairment loss is recovered. अगर carrying amount ज्यादा रहेगा recoverable amount से, तब impairment loss होता है. Now impairment of goodwill as per Ind AS 36, what it says, Ind AS 36 require goodwill to be tested annually for impairment. Goodwill को आप टेस्ट कीजिए annually for impairment testing. If goodwill is impaired, the impairment loss is written off against goodwill and charged to consolidated statement of profit and loss. Treatment depend on whether goodwill is partial or full goodwill. So 110 talks about two types of goodwill, that is partial goodwill method and full goodwill method. So partial goodwill method में क्या होता है? Goodwill is attributable only to the parent. In that case या तो 100% acquired by parent company, तो जो भी goodwill arise होगा सब COC account में होगा, या अगर share is to be calculated on proportionate basis, net share is to be recognized on a proportionate method, केस में NCI में goodwill नहीं आता है. Goodwill is only attributable to parent, that is जो भी parent stake ले रखा है COC अकाउंट में गुडविल जनरेट होता है. इन्वेस्टमेंट से इक्विटी और रिजर्व को एलिमिनेट करने के बाद जो गुडविल जनरेट होता है वो COC अकाउंट में होता है, या तो 100% स्टेक के केस में या 80% स्टेक के केस में, इन केस व्हेन NCI इज टू बी कैलकुलेटेड ऑन प्रोपोर्शनेट शेयर मेथड. जब आप गुडविल को रिकॉग्नाइज करोगे COC अकाउंट से, उसमें अगर आप पेरेंट कंपनी में गुडविल सारा दोगे, देन जब इम्पेयरमेंट लॉस होगा आफ्टर 1 ईयर, आफ्टर एक्विजिशन, जब इम्पेयरमेंट टेस्टिंग होता है आफ्टर एक्विजिशन ही होता है, तो एक्विजिशन के बाद अगर गुडविल का इम्पेयरमेंट टेस्टिंग हुआ, उसमें अगर इम्पेयर्ड हुआ गुडविल, देन इन दैट केस जो भी लॉस अराइज होता है गुडविल का, एंटायर इम्पेयरमेंट लॉस इज बोर्न बाय पेरेंट. अकाउंटिंग एंट्री कंसोलिडेटेड PL अकाउंट डेबिट टू गुडविल. गुडविल को आप कम कर दीजिए और इम्पेयरमेंट लॉस वो कंसोलिडेटेड PL में चला जाएगा, अदर इक्विटी से एडजस्ट हो जाता है. नोट, नो पोर्शन ऑफ गुडविल इम्पेयरमेंट इज एलोकेटेड टू NCI अंडर द पार्शियल गुडविल मेथड. फुल गुडविल मेथड के केस में गुडविल इज एट्रीब्यूटेबल टू बोथ पेरेंट एंड NCI. फेयर वैल्यू ऑफ NCI इज गिवन इन द क्वेश्चन. इन दैट केस गुडविल जो जनरेट होता है वो COC अकाउंट में भी होता है और NCI में भी होता है, और दोनों को मर्ज करके हम लोग कंसोलिडेटेड बैलेंस शीट में डालते हैं. इन दैट केस जब इम्पेयरमेंट लॉस होता है आफ्टर एक्विजिशन, दोनों के बुक्स में शेयर होता है. जैसे 80% अगर पेरेंट एक्वायर कर रखा है और NCI का 20% है, देन इन दैट केस गुडविल का इम्पेयरमेंट लॉस आफ्टर एक्विजिशन 80% एंड 20% वो भी रिकॉग्नाइज होगा. गुडविल एट्रीब्यूटेबल टू बोथ पेरेंट एंड NCI, therefore impairment loss is shared by parent and NCI. Accounting entry consolidated PL account debit, non-controlling interest account debit to goodwill account. Allocation of impairment loss. Impairment loss may be allocated in the ratio of shareholding or in the ratio of goodwill before impairment or specifically given in the question. That is example 1, partial goodwill. That partial goodwill impairment कैसे हम लोग निकालेंगे? Concept is explained with the help of example. Hanuman Limited acquired 80% stake of Jadoo Limited. Cost of investment is rupees 10 lakh. Net identifiable assets of Jadoo Limited is rupees 7,50,000. NCI measured at proportionate share of net asset. In this case, NCI is to be measured at proportionate share method. Impairment of goodwill at the year end becomes rupees 1 lakh. Solution: calculation of goodwill, that is partial method. Hanuman Limited shares in net asset is rupees 7,50,000. Goodwill हो गया cost of investment minus Hanuman Limited share in net asset. तो कितना इन्वेस्ट किया, दैट इज 10 लाख। हनुमान लिमिटेड का शेयर कितना है उसमें, 80%। जितना भी आपका शेयर है उसमें 80% हनुमान लिमिटेड ने एक्वायर किया है। इक्विटी रिजर्व जो भी है उसका 80% स्टेक इज एक्वायर्ड बाय हनुमान लिमिटेड। सो इसमें से 7,50,000 में से 80% दैट बिकम्स 6 लाख। तो 10 लाख माइनस 6 लाख इट बिकम्स 4 लाख। सो 4 लाख गुडविल हुआ। अब ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ इम्पेयरमेंट कैसे करोगे आप? इम्पेयरमेंट हुआ एट द ईयर एंड इज 1 लाख। गुडविल था आपका 4 लाख का द टाइम ऑफ एक्विजिशन। आफ्टर एक्विजिशन गुडविल को कैलकुलेट किया गया तब इम्पेयरमेंट हुआ 1 लाख का। केस ऑफ प्रोपोर्शनल शेयर मेथड क्या होता है, सारा गुडविल सीओसी अकाउंट से जनरेट होता है। नेक्स्ट ईयर आफ्टर एक्विजिशन पेमेंट टेस्टिंग होता है, गुडविल इम्पेयर होता है बाय 1 लाख। पेमेंट ऑफ इम्पेयरमेंट अब कैसे करोगे गुडविल्स में? गुडविल जो बिलोंग्स टू द पेरेंट बुक, पेरेंट के बुक्स में जो रिकॉग्नाइज किया हुआ है वो इंटायर इम्पेयरमेंट लॉस इज बर्न बाय पेरेंट। जो इम्पेयरमेंट टेस्टिंग के बाद इम्पेयरमेंट लॉस होगा वो भी पूरे पेरेंट के बुक्स में ही जाएगा। कंट्रोलिंग इंटरेस्ट में कोई इंपैक्ट नहीं जाएगा। काउंटिंग एंट्री क्या होगा, कंसोलिडेटेड पीएल अकाउंट डेबिट टू गुडविल। गुडविल को आप रिड्यूस कीजिए बाय 1 लाख और जो भी रिडक्शन हो रहा है उसको कंसोलिडेटेड रिजर्व में डालिए। बैलेंस शीट में कितना गुडविल दिखाओगे? गुडविल आफ्टर इम्पेयरमेंट टेस्टिंग एट द टाइम ऑफ एक्विजिशन जनरेट हुआ था दैट इज 4 लाख माइनस 1 लाख इट बिकम्स 3 लाख। तो अब नेक्स्ट ईयर के कंसोलिडेटेड बैलेंस शीट में गुडविल आफ्टर इम्पेयरमेंट इट बिकम्स 3 लाख। एग्जांपल 2 फुल गुडविल इम्पेयरमेंट मेथड। फुल गुडविल मेथड कब अप्लाई होता है? जब एनसीआई इज टू बी कैलकुलेटेड एट फेयर वैल्यू। हनुमान लिमिटेड एक्वायर 80% स्टेक ऑफ जादू लिमिटेड। कॉस्ट ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट इज रुपीज 10 लाख। फेयर वैल्यू ऑफ नेट आइडेंटिफाइबल एसेट्स ऑफ जादू लिमिटेड इज रुपीज 7,50,000। फेयर वैल्यू ऑफ एनसीआई, यहाँ पे एनसीआई का फेयर वैल्यू दे दिया गया है 2,10,000। इम्पेयरमेंट ऑफ गुडविल एट ईयर एंड इज रुपीज 1 लाख। कैलकुलेशन ऑफ गुडविल, कॉस्ट ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट 10 लाख, फेयर वैल्यू ऑफ एनसीआई दैट इज 2,10,000, उसको आप लेस कीजिए माइनस 7,50,000। सो गुडविल बिकम्स 4,60,000। एलोकेशन ऑफ गुडविल, गुडविल का एलोकेशन क्या है? 4,60,000 में पेरेंट का शेयर 80% दैट इज 4,60,000 इंटू 80% इट बिकम्स 3,68,000। सीआई का शेयर है उसमें 4,60,000 इंटू 20% इट बिकम्स 92,000। एक्विजिशन इम्पेयरमेंट लॉस हुआ गुडविल का 1 लाख का, उसमें से पेरेंट का शेयर 80%, 1 लाख का 80% दैट इज 80,000। एनसीआई का 1 लाख का 20% दैट इज 20,000। तो जनरल एंट्री जाएगी गुडविल इम्पेयरमेंट लॉस सीओसी अकाउंट में 80,000, 1 लाख का 80% दैट इज 80,000। एनसीआई में 1 लाख का 20% दैट इज 20,000 टू गुडविल अकाउंट दैट इज 1 लाख। तो गुडविल आफ्टर इम्पेयरमेंट बिकम्स, इम्पेयरमेंट के बाद गुडविल कितना हो जाएगा? 4,60,000 था एट द टाइम ऑफ एक्विजिशन जब आपने कैलकुलेट किया था, माइनस 1 लाख इट बिकम्स 3,60,000। इलस्ट्रेशन 1, राम लिमिटेड एक्वायर 75% stake of Krishna Limited. Ram Limited paid rupees 4,500 lakhs for the share they acquired from Krishna Limited. At 31st March 2027, that is 1 year after Ram Limited acquired Krishna Limited, the individual statement of financial position and statement of comprehensive income of Ram Limited and Krishna Limited are as under. Particulars: non-current assets of Ram Limited, building and other PPE 6,500 and Krishna Limited is 2,750. Investment in Krishna Limited by Ram Limited is 4,500 lakhs. Krishna Limited nil. Current assets: inventories Ram Limited 600 lakhs and Krishna Limited is 550 lakhs. Trade receivable of Ram Limited is 380 lakhs and Krishna Limited is 300. Cash of Ram Limited is 4,170 lakhs and Krishna Limited is 1,420 lakhs. The total asset becomes of Ram Limited becomes 16,350 lakhs and Krishna Limited is 5,020 lakhs. Equities and liabilities. Equity share capital of Ram Limited is 4,000 and Krishna Limited is 2,000. Retained earning of Ram Limited is 12,000 and Krishna Limited is 2,850. Trade payable of Ram Limited is 350 and Krishna Limited is 170. So total liabilities and equities of Ram Limited is 16,350 and Krishna Limited is 5,020. Statement of profit and loss for the year ended 31st March 2027. Revenue of Ram Limited as on 31st March 2027 becomes 3,000 lakhs and Krishna Limited is 1,900 lakhs. Cost of sales of Ram Limited is 1,800 lakhs and Krishna Limited is 1,000 lakhs. So after deducting cost of sales from revenue, gross profits of Ram Limited becomes 1200 lakhs and Krishna Limited becomes 900 lakhs. Administrative expenses of Ram Limited is 400 lakhs and Krishna Limited is 350 lakhs. So after deducting administrative expenses from gross profit, the net profit becomes of Ram Limited is 800 lakhs and Krishna Limited is 50 lakhs. Note. Ram Limited estimates that the goodwill has impaired by 98. So last year at the time of acquisition, goodwill is generated. That goodwill is impaired by 98. The fair value adjustment to the building and other PPE is in respect of building. A depreciation is given because the building has an estimated useful life of 20 years from 31st March 2027, and residual value is also given, that is 0. So we have to find out the depreciation on building on the revalued value of building, that is on fair valuation. Ram Limited use the straight line method for depreciation. All the inventories of Krishna Limited that is held on 31st March 2026, total inventory, whatever inventory is having as on 31st March 2026 in the balance sheet, all the inventories are sold during the year, that is on 31st March 2027. Whatever inventories are reflected in the balance sheet as on 31st March 2027, all the inventories are current year purchase. Last year inventories all sold during the year 2027. Retained earning of Krishna Limited as on 31st March 2026, that is Krishna Limited. Retained earning is also given, that is 31st March 2026 retained earning is given, that is 2300 lakhs. Fair value of PP and inventory as on 31st March 2026 is also given, that is fair value of PP is 3300 and inventory is 600, and carrying value of PP is 3000 and inventory is on the date of acquisition, that is on 31st March 2026 is 500. Goodwill as on 31st March 2026 is 975. That goodwill is impaired during the year by 98. So we have to find out the adjustment entry. Now solution. Consolidated note 1, that is rupees in lakh after 1 year from the date of acquisition, that is on 31st March 2020. So all the assets, that is building is having 6500 lakhs, so it will be taken here 6500 lakhs, and Krishna Limited is having 2750, so 2750. Inventories of Ram Limited is 800 lakhs, so it will be taken here 800 lakhs, and inventories of Krishna Limited is 550 lakhs, so it will be taken here 550 lakhs. Trade receivables of Ram Limited 380 lakhs, so that is 380 lakhs of Ram Limited, and Krishna Limited is 300 lakhs, so 300 lakhs is taken. Cash of Ram Limited is 4170 lakhs, that is 4170 lakhs, and Krishna Limited is 1420 lakhs. Trade payable of Ram Limited is 350 lakhs and Krishna Limited is 170 lakhs. Total assets and liabilities is taken one by one except the equity share capital of Ram Limited and Krishna Limited, except the reserve of Ram Limited and Krishna Limited, and except the investments made by Ram Limited and Krishna. All the assets and liabilities is to be taken here one by one. What adjustment is required here? We have to find out the journal entries of the fair value adjustments of PP and inventory. Carrying value of PP is 3000. The fair value of PP is 300. There is a fair valuation increase in PP by 300. Inventory is also increased during the year, that is carrying value as on 31st March 2026 of inventories is 500 and fair valuation as on 31st March 2026 is 600. So inventory is also increased by 100. Building account debit by 300, inventory account debit by 100 too. That is increase in the fair valuation is adjusted with pre-retained earning. That is the pre-profit. Pre-profit se adjust hoga, not post-profit, that is adjusted with pre-profit. Subsequent adjustments, what subsequent adjustment is to be measured, that is on 31st March 2027. What adjustment is required? Because there is an increase in the value by 300 of PPE and useful life is also given, that is 20 years. So depreciation is to be calculated on the increased value, and also the residual value is also given, that is 0. 0. So depreciation after 1 year adjustment is given, that is 300 minus 0 divided by 20, so it becomes 15 lakhs is to be adjusted with post retain earning, because it decreased the profit. It is not increasing the profits, it decreased the profit, and it also decreased the building and other PP, that is 15 lakhs. PL account debited by depreciation for the year 26-27 by 15 lakh to PP. So that 15 lakhs is to be adjusted here. That is how much building is to be increased, that is 300 minus depreciation, so it becomes 9,535 lakhs. And inventory is also increased by 100. Whatever the fair value increment is there, all the inventories are sold. So, and this inventory of Krishna Limited, that is 550, is the new inventory that is purchased during the year 2027. And last year carrying value of inventory is sold. So it will be closing stock is to be decreased. It is decreased by 100 and it will be debited to PL account. So in the standalone financial statement of Krishna Limited, cost of control account rupees 500, that is without fair valuation, which is correct. However, in the consolidated financial statement, opening inventory and hence cost of goods sold would be 600. And hence if the inventories were to be sold, gross profit calculated by Krishna Limited in a standalone book would be higher by 100 as compared to the consolidated financial statement, and hence an adjustment entry is passed in the consolidated file for adjusting the profits of rupees 100. Further, the closing inventories of 550 would have been out of new purchase made in the current year, since it is specified in the question that all inventories as on 31st March 2026 is sold. So whatever the inventory held by Krishna Limited, all inventories are sold during the year 2027. The closing inventory of 550 is out of new purchase made during the year, made in the current year. So total inventory becomes 800 plus 550 plus 100 minus 100, so it becomes 1350. Trade receivable, there is no such adjustment, so 380 plus 300, it becomes 680. Cash, there is no such adjustment, it becomes 4170 plus 1420, so it becomes 5509. Trade payable, there is no such adjustment, 350 plus 170, it becomes 520. Now impairment goodwill, last year goodwill is given, that is at the time of acquisition what goodwill is to be calculated, that is 975. That goodwill is impaired by 98. In this case, goodwill is calculated using the partial goodwill method, and hence the loss on impairment of goodwill be borne entirely by the parent. In case of partial goodwill method, all the losses borne by the parent, since NCI has no share in the partial goodwill. So consolidated PL account debit 98 to goodwill. Therefore, the goodwill before impairment becomes 975 as it is given in the question, less impairment goodwill, that is 98. So goodwill after impairment becomes 877. That 877 is to be given in the consolidated balance. Now equity share capital of Ram Limited 400 lakh share capital, assuming fully paid, that is 400 into 10, it becomes 4000 lakh, as it is given in the question that Ram Limited is having an equity of 4000 lakh, and the Krishna Limited equity is bifurcated between Ram Limited and Krishna Limited. Now retain earning, that is 2850, that is the retain earning of Krishna Limited, out of which the pre-acquisition profit, that is balance as on 31st March 2026 is given in the question, that is retain earning of Krishna Limited as on 31st March 20, that is pre-profit 2300. After acquisition the profits become 2850. So balancing amount becomes the post-acquisition profit. So 2300 lakhs becomes the pre-acquisition profits, and remaining profit of Krishna Limited, that is 550, becomes the post-acquisition profit. Now fair value adjustment, how you will adjust with pre-acquisition profit? There is an increase in inventories and PPE by 400, profit will increase by 400, so it becomes 2300 plus 400 becomes 2700. And post acquisition profit, because there is a increase in PPE by 300, and after acquisition there is additional depreciation on the fair value adjustment plus additional adjustment by 15 lakhs and change in opening stock by 100 lakhs, so it becomes 550 minus 15 lakhs minus 100 lakhs, so it becomes 435 lakhs. Out of pre-acquisition profits, that is 2700 lakhs, Ram Limited shares is 75%, so it becomes 2700 into 75, so it becomes 2025, and Krishna Limited is 25%, so it becomes 675. Post acquisition profits 435 lakhs, out of which to 75%, so it becomes become 326.25 lakhs, and Krishna Limited become 435 into 25%, so it become 108.75 lakhs. 75% and 25% is bifurcated between Ram and Krishna Limited, that is pre-profits and post-profit. That is cost of control by equity share capital of Krishna Limited on the date of acquisition is 2000 lakhs into 75%, it becomes 1500, and retained earning, that is 2300. Retained earning is given, that is pre-profits as we had calculated here, that is pre-profit 2225 of Ram Limited will be given in the cost of control account, that is by retained earning 2025. Goodwill impairment, that is 98. Balancing figure becomes goodwill. We show goodwill impairment separately 98, so balancing amount becomes 877. That 877 lakhs is to be given in the balance sheet. The Ram Limited has invested in Krishna Limited 4500. That investment is eliminated with equity, retained earnings, goodwill impairment, and balancing amount becomes a goodwill, and that goodwill is reflected in consolidated financial statement. Note 3, that is consolidated other equity as it is given in the question, that is a retained earning of Ram Limited becomes 12,000. Retained earning of Ram Limited is 12,000. Post acquisition profits of Ram Limited and Krishna Limited, that is 326.25 lakhs, less impairment of goodwill, because there is a dual impact of impairment of goodwill. So firstly we will reduce the goodwill, and secondly we will reduce from the profits also, that is consolidated other equity. So minus 98, so it becomes 12,228.25. Now non-controlling interest, that is 25% calculated at proportionate share of net assets. So by equity share capital of Krishna Limited on the date of acquisition, because 2000 into 25%, it becomes 500. Whatever the profits Krishna Limited is having, pre-profits 2700 into 25%, so it becomes 675. Gross profits of Krishna Limited, that is 108.75 lakhs. So balancing figure, that is 1283.75 lakhs, to be reflected in the consolidated financial statement as non-controlling interest. Now consolidated balance sheet as on 31st March 2027, that is amount reflected in lakhs, that is non-current asset, building and other PP, note 1, that is consolidated note 9535 lakhs. So it becomes goodwill, that is working note 2, 877 lakhs. Inventories, that is 1350 lakhs. Trade receivables 680 lakhs given in the note, and cash is also given in working note, consolidated note, that is 5590 lakhs. So total asset becomes 5590 lakhs, that is cash, and total asset becomes 18,032 lakhs. Share capital given in the note 2, that is 4000 lakhs, that is 4000 lakhs share capital. Retained earning is 12,222.25 lakhs. Non-controlling interest, that is 1283.75 lakhs. Trade payable, that is as per consolidated note 520, 18,032 lakhs. So balance sheet tallied, asset become equals to liability. Thanking you for watching my video. If you like, please share, subscribe my channel.